From the 10th Avenue Extension, this is NBN TV, Mega Broadcasting Network, bringing the Mega News at 6. My name is El Samuels. The headlines.
Former Chief Justice Sophia Akuffo resigns from Council of State. In business, government will establish auditors' courts to tackle audit infractions at Forson. On the international front, let's not blow it. Trump urges restraint as Tehran warns Beirut strike could derail US-Iran's deal.
This and many other stories coming up. The news is also live across all our social media handles on NBN 360. The details of the story: the former Chief Justice of Ghana, Justice Sophia Akuffo, has resigned from her position as a member of the Council of State, marking a significant development in the country's advisory body to the president.
Former Chief Justice Sophia Akuffo has stepped down from her role on the Council of State, where she served as one of the president's key constitutional advisors. Her resignation comes after months of public discussions and debate over the role and composition of the Council of State, with growing calls from sections of the public and commentators for reforms within the advisory body. Chief Justice Akuffo, who previously served as Ghana's Chief Justice from 2017 to 2019, was widely regarded as one of the most experienced legal brains on the council. She has represented a judiciary perspective in advising the presidency on governance and constitutional matters. Her departure is expected to trigger discussions on who may replace her and how it could affect the balance of legal and political expertise within the council. Authorities are not yet issued an official statement detailing the reason behind her resignation. More updates are expected in the coming days.
Now to the Education Ministry, where the Minister of Education has called for a full investigation following the tragic discovery of a missing University of Cape Coast student who has been found dead. The Minister of Education has ordered an immediate probe into the circumstances surrounding the death of a University of Cape Coast student who was earlier reported missing. According to the preliminary report, the student has been declared missing for several days before authorities confirmed the discovery of the body. The incident has sparked concern among students, staff, and the wider public, with growing calls for answers over what may have led to the tragedy. The minister has directed security agencies and the university authorities to work together to establish the exact cause of death and to determine whether foul play was involved. Meanwhile, the university community has been thrown in mourning. Counseling services are expected to be made available to students affected and staff. Police says investigations are ongoing and further details will be communicated as becomes available. Now to the Court Regionals of Authority. The High Court has directed that the Greater Accra Regional Minister be formally served in connection with an alleged contempt case currently before the court. The High Court of Ghana has ordered the Greater Accra Regional Minister be duly served to respond to allegations of contempt brought against her. The court's direction follows an application filed by the applicant seeking to initiate contempt proceedings over actions or a statement believed to have undermined the authority of the court. In its ruling, the court emphasized the need for due process, instructing that the minister must be officially noticed to appear and respond to allegations. The case has drawn public attention due to its political and legal implication, as it involves a senior government official in one of the country's most sensitive legal matters. It is not yet clear when the matter will be called again, but legal observers says the outcome could set an important precedent on the limit of executive conduct in relation to judiciary authority. Further hearings are expected in the coming days. Away from the major stories, let's go straight to the business desk, where the Finance Minister, Dr. Kerslat Forson, has announced government plans to establish a specialized auditors' court to prosecute and resolve audit infractions across the public institutions. The government says it is set to introduce a new specialized judicial mechanism dubbed Auditors' Court to deal with
audit infractions and financial irregularities within the public space. According to Finance Minister Dr. Keselatu Forson, the proposed court will strengthen accountability systems by ensuring that audit findings from the Attorney General's report are not ignored or left unattended. He explained that the initiative is part of a broader public financial management reforms aimed at tightening oversight, reducing waste, and also improving discipline in the use of public funds. The proposed Auditors Court is expected to fast-track prosecution of financial misconduct cases and ensure sanctions are applied where necessary, especially in cases highlighted in the annual audit report. The announcement has already sparked discussions among governance experts, with some welcoming the move as a step towards accountability, whilst others are calling for clarity on how the court will function within Ghana's existing judicial framework. Further details on the structure and implementation timelines are expected to be outlined in the coming months.
On the international front, U.S. President Donald Trump has called for restraint in the Middle East, warning that Israel military actions in Beirut could jeopardize a near-finalized U.S.-Iran agreement after a sharp warning from Tehran over escalating tensions.
U.S. President Donald Trump has urged calm among all parties involved in the rising Middle East tensions, warning that continued military escalations could collapse a closely negotiated U.S.-Iran framework deal. Trump, reacting to Israel's recent strike on the southern suburb of Beirut, said the situation risks undermining diplomatic progress, stressing, "Let us not blow in it," as he appealed for restraint from both Israel and Iran. The comment came after Iran warned that the Israeli strike in Beirut could derail the ongoing negotiation between Washington and Tehran, with Iranian officials suggesting the attack was a serious breach that could trigger wider regional consequences. The strike, which targeted areas linked to Hezbollah operations in Lebanon, has already intensified fears of a broader conflict involving Israel, Iran-backed groups, and regional allies. Despite the tensions, U.S. officials insist talks towards a potential agreement remain active, with immediate efforts continuing behind the scenes to prevent further escalation and preserve the fragile diplomatic track. However, analysts warn that renewed strikes or retaliatory actions could quickly unravel months of negotiation, pushing the region closer to a wider confrontation. For now, all sides are being urged to step back from further military actions as diplomatic pressures intensify to keep the emerging deal on the track.
And on this note, we wrap up this morning's Mega News 6 live and direct from our studios on the 10th Avenue Extension, Great Estate. But let's take a second look at the stories making headlines before we take leave of you.
Former Chief Justice Sophia Akufo resigns from Council of State. In business, government will establish auditors' courts to tackle audit infractions at Forson. On the international front, let's not blow it. Trump urges restraint as Tehran warns Beirut strike could derail U.S.-Iran's deal.
For more news, log on to MBN 360. My name is El Samuels. Up next is the Sports Update. Thanks for staying with us.